Hi, this is Yvonne McNary with Central Kentucky Television, and I'm here with Hayden Johnson, who is a volunteer of the DAT team with our Red Cross here in Marion, Washington, and Nelson County. And good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the Red Cross here in Marion County.
I'm not sure about the Red Cross here in Marion County. I know Mr. J.T. Whitlock took care of it since the 50s. And I came into play in about 75 or 76 when I took over the ambulance service here, and then got out of that. And Paula Cole was in, and we've had a lot of other folks. But this year is the 100th anniversary of the American Red Cross.
Fantastic. That's what we're here to celebrate.
That's what we're here to celebrate and talk about.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And, you've been with it since the 70s. I'll bet you've seen a lot of changes.
Oh, a whole lot of changes. A lot of times, we could just go out and take care of business. And now we've got to put it on the computer and send it to Louisville or Washington, D.C. or somewhere for them to approve whatever it is, if it's a family fire or a flood or whatever. So.
Okay. Now, how are we organized now?
Well, we had a chapter. Marion County had a very active and progressive chapter for a long time, and then the Red Cross headquarters decided to merge Marion, Washington, and Nelson as one group. And a couple of years ago, they sort of disbanded that, and each county now is trying to take care of its own, with volunteers responding to what we call single-family fires. Somebody's house burns, they need food and clothing and a place to stay, and we've got a team that will go out to the fire scene itself and talk to the victims and find out what their needs are. And it's not going to be anything fancy. It's just going to get you through for a couple of days, until you can get on your feet and your insurance company starts paying, or however. We provide housing. We'll give them a debit card that'll have a preloaded amount of money on it, and there's restrictions on what they can purchase. And so we'll give that to them right on the fire scene. Usually it might take a day to get the paperwork completed and the card back to this area. I have the cards that I can issue. Someone else makes a decision on how much need is required, and then they will determine that dollar amount. It could be $200, it could be $500, whatever. It depends on the number of people in the household. Are the children, are the elderly, what are their special needs? It may help them get clothes. They may need to replace their medicines. There's just a lot of things that you're eligible to get.
Okay. Now, I know in times past, we've collected different items for the Red Cross, and we've collected for housing, and we had all kinds of furniture and things like that where people could go to get those things after a fire or whatever, and then also we could donate to that. Is that still in effect?
No, the Red Cross learned after some of the major hurricanes and other disasters across the country that they just didn't have the space to keep everybody's good intentions. A lot of folks will go and clean out their attic, because get it out of the way those people need it. And over the years, we found out the best way to do it is just give them that debit card, or cash. We won't give them cash. We'll give them the card to go buy what you need. Because I've worked several disasters in the state and out of state, and at one point there were warehouses full of furniture and everything that people, clothes that you can't use, and mattresses and things like that, and the warehouse just sitting there full, and you can't use them. Cash, and you'll hear anytime there's a big disaster, everybody's going to say, give cash.
And they convert that cash into debit cards?
Debit cards for the clients.
What are some of the other functions that Red Cross has?
Red Cross also is responsible for CPR and first aid training, for training of lifeguards at your pools that are required to have lifeguards. We have the military service branch, where that if a serviceman or woman who is overseas or even in the United States on post, and they have a death in the family, then the Red Cross is the mediator between the family and the Department of Military Affairs to hopefully get that person home for the visitation funeral or whatever, or even if some of the family members in critical condition, then sometimes we can get it okayed for that serviceman or woman to come home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've seen them training the lifeguards.
Yeah, we're active in the community, but we're also always looking for volunteers. All you got to do is go to AmericanRedCross.org. It says volunteer, and fill out that information. Somebody will contact you. You can be on the disaster action team to assist in event if we have a tornado or a serious flood or anything like that, and you'll get trained.
Tell us a little bit about those disaster teams.
Well, they're all over the country. What they do,
And they're all Red Cross.
all Red Cross. We're all volunteers. They will respond to single-family fires, to flooding, disasters. They'll set up shelters if emergency management or the local county or city officials determine that Marion County needs to open a shelter. The emergency management county judge, city mayor will make that declaration. They call the American Red Cross, and we will come in and set up the shelter. There'll be teams coming in from all over the state for housing and feeding. So like right now here in town, Center Square is designated as a shelter, and we used it during the ice storm.
Yes.
For a long time. The Bradfordsville Civic Center, which was formerly the school, has been designated as a shelter. The Marion County High School, City Hall in Loretta. So if anyone's got a building that they think it would meet the qualification specifications to operate out of, then we'd love to hear about it and make arrangements to check it out and get supplies and take care of things.
Yeah, and during those disasters, we want everybody to know that the Red Cross sends manpower right in.
Oh yes, they'll move as fast as they can. Again, they're all volunteers. Another organization I'm with is Kentucky Baptist Disaster Relief Team. During the ice storm, we had 125 volunteers from there that came from South Carolina to help us right here in Marion County, Kentucky, because everybody else was tied up. And we can get all the help here that we need.
Fantastic. Again, tell us how we can get involved with becoming a volunteer.
Okay, go to the web, www.redcross.org, and you'll see a link that says volunteer. Click on that link, fill out the information. We'll contact you and get you set up where that you can respond to disasters. Disasters are basically our immediate need right now is people who will or can get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and go to a house fire. And we need a lot of folks. Just you won't do it every day, but I hope we don't ever do it. But we haven't had we've had some fires recently, but it's been probably 3 or 4 months since we actually physically responded and assisted a family.
Okay, and for those people out there who'd like to make a donation to the Red Cross, how can they do that?
Just make a check to the American Red Cross. The address is on the website as well. Hopefully all that money will come back to Marion County when we need it. It may be used somewhere else, but we'll still get, if we have something, we'll get some reimbursement or some assistance from Red Cross.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming and talking to us today about the anniversary of the Red Cross. We want to all celebrate that because they do such a wonderful job when we have terrible things happen to us in our communities. This has been Yvonne McNary for Central Kentucky Television.